Welcome back to part 3 of the Design Your Year challenge here in the Leading Yourself podcast. We're officially diving into week 3 of this exciting journey. In week 1, we reflected on what we're leaving behind as we transition from 2024 into 2025. Last week, we took a close look at our starting point by conducting a live audit using the Wheel of Life. Today, it's time to start drafting our vision for 2025 by creating our very own vision board. Trust me, this is going to be a fun and inspiring process. So let's get started. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. Hopefully you can tell I'm super excited for today's episode, and that is because I have to admit creating a vision board is one of my favorite year-end activities. I discovered them years ago during this group activity I was doing with some friends, and I instantly fell in love with the concept. That first vision board that I did still is in my office. I have a physical vision board that I had framed, and it's there serving as a daily reminder of that overarching life goal of mine. And since then, creating an annual vision board has become a ritual for me. It's a tangible way to align my dreams with action. Now, today, I'm going to guide you to create your own vision board. But before we go there, if you're new to vision boards and you're like, what are you even talking about, Carolina? Here is a quick explanation. A vision board is nothing else than a collage of images and affirmations and words that represent your goals, your aspirations, and your desires. It's more than just a pretty display. It's a motivational tool that can help keep you focused and inspired throughout the year. Vision boards can take different forms. Some people create lifelong vision boards that reflect their ultimate aspirations in life, while others, like me, focus on designing boards for the year ahead. This practice allows us to align our annual intentions with a bigger picture of who we want to become. Now, before we dive into creating vision boards, I want to share a personal tradition that plays a key role in my process, and that is choosing a guiding word for the year. For 2025, I am picking the word elevate. To me, elevate means raising every aspect of my life to a higher level, enhancing the quality, the significance, and the fulfillment. It's about becoming more intentional, more aligned with my core values and priorities, and reaching beyond my current status to grow in meaningful ways. As you create your vision board, I'm going to encourage you to choose your own word of the year. Think of it as a title of your personal story for 2025, a theme that will guide your decisions, your actions, and your energy throughout the year. I always say that for me, every year is like a book with 12 chapters and 365 pages. And your word of the year, it's kind of like the title of that book. This year, 2024, my word was vibrant. I was looking to have vibrant energy, so I focus a lot on my health and my well-being, and all my habits revolve around that. The books that I read, the podcasts I listened to, it was all inspired by this desire I had to feel vibrant. For 2025, my word is going to be elevate, and I'm sure that that word is going to guide me throughout the year. in the decisions that I make, the content I consume, the actions I take, how I reflect every day on how can I elevate my life every single day for 365 days in 2025. Now, if you're curious on the process on how to pick your power word of the year, stay tuned because I am going to be posting an episode that I actually do every year on how to find your power word for the year. And I really encourage you to find your own. Now, while it's tempting to dive straight into assembling a vision board, a lot of people, they jump directly to the craft aspect of creating a vision board. What I had found is that the most powerful words come from intentional reflection. Start by journaling your thoughts using some prompts that I'm going to share with you and that you can find in the Notion template that I've created for this challenge. And the link to that template is on the show notes of today's podcast episode. But I come up with 10 questions that you can ask yourself and you can journal around or reflect around to inspire you in this process of creating your vision board for 2025. The first question is, what is your word of the year and why? What does that word mean for you? I told you my word is elevate. Now, you can interpret that in many ways. You can go to the dictionary and look what the word means, but I not only picked the word, but I gave that word a meaning. And I share with you that for me, elevate means raising every aspect of my life to a higher level, enhancing the quality, the significance, and the fulfillment in my life. It's about becoming more intentional and more aligned with my core values and my priorities, and reaching beyond my current status to grow in meaningful ways. That's what the word means to me. So once again, I really encourage you to spend the time to figure out what your power word of the year is. Again, watch out for a bonus episode on how to find your power word. Or I'm going to put also on the show notes of this podcast episode a blog post that I did last year that walks you step by step how to figure out what your power word is going to be for 2025. The second thing I want you to reflect on as you prepare to build your vision board is, what does your dream life look like in 2025? In other words, if you and I were having coffee on December 31st of 2025 and you were sharing with me how amazing your 2025 was, what would you tell me? What would make 2025 like your best year yet? What is your dream life? Then how does that look like for you in 2025? The third thing I want you to reflect on is, what new interests or hobbies would you like to explore next year? What are new things that you want to experiment and explore with in 2025? The fourth question is, what big goals or bucket list items do you want to achieve next year? I believe, and I actually keep in a note on my phone, my bucket list. So I have a note on my phone that it's called bucket list, literally. And these are all the things that I want to do in this lifetime. These are things that excite me, that I would make me really happy and really fulfilled and bring me a lot of joy if I could do those things. And this year in 2024, I cross off a few things of that list, like going to Australia, or seeing the Northern Lights. I actually did that last year and this year too. So what are some of those bucket list items that you want to achieve in 2025? If you don't have a bucket list, I would start just by creating one. Think about all these things that before you leave the earth, you want to absolutely do. These are things that excite you, that are things that you're looking forward to experience in your life. And from all of those things, which of those you want to make sure you cross off that bucket list next year. The next question is, how can you design your environment to support your goals? As you're thinking about all the things that you want to do in 2025, also think about your environment. And when I talk about your environment, I'm thinking about the kind of people you want to surround yourself with, the physical spaces, the support system, all of those things. How can you design that environment so it's easier? It's smoother for you to navigate 2025 and have this dream life and do all these things that you want to do and accomplish next year. Another thing is, what self-care practices do you want to prioritize? I think self-care is a must. I learned that lesson the hard way, and now every year I spend some time thinking about how am I going to incorporate self-care into my routines. Another question is, how do you want to contribute to the world, to the team you're part of or the company you're part of, to your family? In which ways do you want to contribute in 2025? Another thing you can ask yourself is, what books, podcasts, or other sources of inspiration will you turn to? What are some things that you want to learn about next year? What are some resources that you want to use as a source of inspiration next year? Another question, how will you strengthen your relationships in 2025? Think about what are those key relationships in your life and how can you picture yourself nourishing and strengthening those relationships? Also, you can ask yourself, what goals do you want to pursue in any area of your life? We have the Wheel of Life that we did last week. So think about each of those 8 areas. And if you were to set one goal in each of those areas, how would that look like, right? How would that look like? Take the time to answer those questions thoroughly. They'll serve as a foundation for your vision board, helping you to choose the images and the words that truly resonate with your aspirations. The more time you invest in reflecting in this kind of questions, the more you're going to get to the core of what you desire for next year. And the more you're going to be able to align that in your vision board and put it in using images and words and affirmations into this picture that will be there throughout the year to guide you as a compass. Now, once you do all of this reflection, right, thinking about how you want your year to look like, what you're trying to accomplish, how you want to feel next year, who you want to connect with, what kind of content you want to consume, what is going to be your word of the year, then comes the fun part, which is assembling your vision board. And I think you have 2 options here. You can do a physical vision board or you can do a digital vision board. A physical vision board uses magazines and printed images or pictures or photos to create a tangible collage. So you'll need some scissors and some glue and some of these things to cut images, and you can do this on a poster board or even a scrapbook and put all these pieces together to form a physical vision board. The very first vision board that I did was a physical vision board, continues to be because it's still in my office. It's there since I did it, I don't know how many years ago. Now, when I'm doing an annual vision board, I have opted to do a digital version of that vision board. I personally use Canva, but you can use other tools like Notion to create a digital collage. This is my preferred method because what I like to do once I've done with my vision board, I like to set it as the desktop background in my computer so I can see it every single day. When I turn my laptop on, my vision board is right there on my face. And that helps me, it reminds me of what my aspirations, my dreams, my desires are for this year. And having it in front of me reminds me of what it's important, what really matters. What is the type of contribution that I want to make? What are the experiences I want to collect in 2025? If you're using Canva, a pro tip for you, I've included 2 ready to use templates in the Notion planner linked on the show notes. You can simply drag and drop and choose the images into your template. That will make your life so much easier. Now, Canva has a lot of predefined templates that you can use, and it's very easy. Very, very easy and straightforward. Now, here's how I create my vision board. Let me walk you through some of the steps. The first thing, after reflecting on the journaling prompts that I share with you, I highlight keywords or themes, such as vibrant, health, abundance, joyful, relationships, meaningful work. I don't know what those words are, but any words that stand out in anything that I wrote, I highlight. And then I start to search for images in either Pinterest or in the Canva library that align with these words. And I save them in a dedicated folder that I call Vision Board 2025. So I love to use Pinterest for this. But I start to search for some of those keywords, and a lot of images come up, and then I start saving anything that resonates with me, anything that creates a feeling, right? It makes me feel the way that I hope to feel in 2025. I have to say I have Canva Pro, so I have access to the full library of images in Canva, and I had found those very, very helpful. So that's another option that you have, Pinterest or Canva, either way, or you can just Google the words and start saving those words in a folder in your computer. Then once I have collected all those images, using Canva, I start to arrange the images into a collage. And I add some words and some affirmations throughout the collage for extra inspiration. And that's how I do on my vision board. 3 steps, right? 1, reflecting on your journaling prompts. I guess 4 steps. You do your journaling. 2, you highlight the keywords or themes. 3, you search for the images. And 4, using Canva or any other tool, you arrange those images into a collage that is visually appealing, and then add some words and affirmations for extra inspiration. And once your board is complete, then you get to display it somewhere that you'll see it daily. Whether it's a physical board in your office or a digital one on your phone or your computer, regularly visibility to this board is key to keep your goals and your aspirations top of mind. And that plays such an important role, just to have all of that top of mind as you go through the days and the weeks and the months of 2025. It will serve as a compass, guiding you to what matters most to you. Your vision board isn't just a pretty collage. It's really a tool for decision making and for motivation. Whenever I face a tough decision, I turn to my board and I ask which choice aligns the best with the vision that I'm creating. This practice has helped me to stay focused and intentional even when life gets hectic. That's why I'm saying that your vision board is more than a pretty collage. It's really a compass that is going to help you make better decisions that are more aligned with your values and your priorities, and is going to keep you inspired and motivated throughout the year. I really can't wait to see the incredible vision boards that you create for 2025. I would love for you to share your creations with me on social media. And don't forget to tag me so I can see them. And don't forget also to download the Notion template from the show notes on this podcast episode to guide you through this whole process on how to build your 2025 vision board. Next week, we'll take things a step further by breaking our vision into actionable goals and habits, and we'll bring all of it to life. Until then, thank you for being part of this Design Your Year challenge here on the Leading Yourself podcast. I'm so excited for you to work and create your own vision board for next year. I hope you have a great week, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week for the fourth and last part of this challenge. Until then, have a great week. Okay, my friend, that's all I've got for you today. But before you go, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, if we're not already friends on Instagram, let's get connected. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful that you're in this journey with me. I want to leave you with one last thought. I want to remind you that you're destined for more, and that every step that you take brings you closer to becoming that best version of yourself. Embrace each day as a chance to learn, grow, and chase your dreams. The world needs you to shine brightly, so go out and show up fully and authentically. Take care, and I'll see you next time.